So today I'm speaking about heartbreak, that good old-fashioned kick in the gut, that kind of heartbreak where it is tangible, where it feels like everything in you is tight and aching, that pain that is so indescribable, that loss of appetite and loss of interest in life and friendships. And in many times it becomes so crippling that we actually can't even function and go to work or work particularly effectively or interact with friends or family members. We are absolutely crippled. And often that heartbreak, that intensity can last months. And yet knowing that pretty much every single one of us are going to experience that at some point in our lives, there doesn't seem to be sufficient support or information on how to deal with it, on what's really going on. And so today is by no means a solution or the ultimate answer. It's really just some thoughts on the experience. In many respects, a breakup is so much more difficult than a death. In a death, there's the same sense of loss, the same sense of having to redefine habits, norms, going to places where we spend time with that person and experiencing that void, experiencing their absence, and experiencing that tug when they're absent. Yet with the death, we celebrate the person. We celebrate all that they were. We mourn them and we celebrate them. With a breakup, we mourn them and we vilify them. They become the cruel. They become the enemy, the one who did this to us, the one who caused this pain, and knowing that we can still contact them, that they're simply a phone call away, or in some respect we can contact them, wanting our voice to be heard, thinking that if our voice is heard, it will ease the pain to some degree. If I could just know why, if I had some sense of closure, if I understood what I did wrong, if I could justify a behavior, and this wreaks absolute havoc with our recovery process. Absolute havoc. It extends the recovery process unnecessarily and does not produce the answers and the balm that we require. So therefore, how do we manage it? It's a very popular, it's become quite popular and quite well known to establish, if you have the discipline, a 21-day or a 30-day no contact rule. Now, I'm not a particular fan of this in as far as what is the intention. The intention very often is to get the person back. The intention is to win them over, to allow them space and time to get over their own emotions, and then to allow them time to miss you. My question is, when this works, if it works, and you win them back, then what? What has changed? Why would it now magically work where it didn't work before? In some instances, you're simply going to prolong the breakup or have to re-experience it a month, 6 months, or a year down the line. I am a big fan of the no contact rule in as far as it gives you the ability to put space between yourself and that person, to breathe, to deal with your muck. And we don't deal with our muck in 1 week. And we do not deal with our muck very often in a month. Depends obviously on the intensity of the relationship. It takes days and days and hours of work, not just of time, but of work. It's doing the work in that time, doing the introspective work, not engaging with the other, because the moment we engage with the other, we're going to be straight back into our patterns. Setting yourself a 30-day no contact period so that you can not replay the events of the past, but so that you can ask yourself this one critical question. What's behind this? What is underneath this? Where have I experienced this before? Right now, in this moment of the breakup, I'm experiencing it intensely. It's amplified. It's so much more, it's louder. Yet where have I experienced this before? And maybe the pain, that crippling pain, that vice-like grip that seems to be around your heart, your gut, or perhaps both, maybe that's not so much about the other person having broken up with you. Maybe that is because, and here's my big suggestion today, because this breakup has amplified a belief system that we had about ourselves all along, for years and years, way back throughout your school career, way back to even prior to your school career. You held a belief system about yourself, consciously or unconsciously, which is now being amplified. Maybe that belief system or that voice for you sounds something like this. Maybe that voice sounds like this. I don't deserve to be loved. And now that a significant person whom you trusted, whom you valued, whom you invested enormous amounts of time and energy into, has just confirmed that. By their actions, by their choices, they have just confirmed you were right all along. You don't deserve to be loved. You don't deserve to have a partner. You don't deserve to be treated as special or with respect. Phew, it's a tough one. Because if you can see behind the fact that it's not so much about the partner, but it's about this belief system you have carried with you your entire life. Every time that you were not selected for the sports team, well, I didn't really deserve it. In my heart of hearts, I knew that I didn't deserve to be chosen. Every time you weren't given the promotion at work, well, I knew I didn't deserve it. But we deal with those moments with difficulty, yet not as with quite as much difficulty as when we allowed somebody into our personal space, into our deepest heart, and they have now verified this belief system. Maybe the voice sounds like this to you. Maybe the voice sounds like, I'm not good enough. I always knew I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough through certain schooling experiences. I wasn't good enough for my mother, for my father, and now I'm not good enough for my spouse, for my significant other. Perhaps this voice sounds like this for you. I've always known I wasn't wanted. It wasn't a secret. Unwanted pregnancy, another burden, another mouth to feed. So it's true after all. This person has just proven that what I knew deep down inside is actually true, and what a fool I've been to believe it for the duration of this relationship. Maybe the voice for you sounds like this. Maybe the voice says, you're stupid. And all my life, everything I've done, I've been driven and motivated to keep that voice quiet, to disprove that voice. And yet here it is, screaming the loudest. You were too stupid to work this relationship out. You were too stupid to know that you were being cheated on, for instance. You were too stupid to be able to sustain it or to provide or whatever it is. Maybe the voice sounds like this: you aren't worthy. I never have been, all along. Maybe the voice sounds like this: I'm inadequate. I've always known I was inadequate in so many other areas of my life, and now here's the proof. This person has broken up with me because I'm inadequate, not enough. And my suggestion to you today is perhaps that is at the root or the cause of this intense pain you're experiencing within the breakup. It's multi-layered. Quite obviously, it is also the loss of not only the other person, but the entire relationship, which is an entity on its own. The relationship itself has a defined personality. The relationship itself, they say 1 + 1 is not 2, 1 + 1 is 3. And that is absolutely accurate. It is yourself, your partner, and the relationship. You define yourself differently when you're alone as you do when you're part of the relationship. So yes, there are so many characters, if you like, to mourn or to lose when a breakup occurs. And this is a very multi-layered, multifaceted, and very deep topic. However, what I want to concentrate on today is for you to dig a little deeper and find out what that voice is, because that will serve you, creating an awareness of why is it that this consistently crops up in my life. Not for you to destroy the voice, not so that the voice is never heard again, but rather as a tool to identify when I'm hearing that voice, listening to that voice, journaling my emotions, my experiences, what I feel when this is what I believe to be true. And in that moment, I believe it was Plato who said, know thyself. Know thyself. In that moment, you can actually find some value in the breakup, because the breakup has given you the opportunity to dig, the opportunity to ask these questions. We would never do that level of work if things were going well in our lives. It's just simply human nature. We just don't. We don't bandage a wound if we haven't been hurt. We don't apply disinfectant and balm to skin that has not been cut or burnt. So when we've been burnt, when we've been cut, only then do we go and apply the ointment, the healing ointment. Only then do we go and introspect. And so when we begin to ask ourselves these questions, what is the voice in my head that has told me that I'm inadequate, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it, I'm worthless, that is playing up so hard right now in this breakup? And that's a good point to start journaling. In that moment, we also take the focus of he or she did this, they did that, they betrayed me, they hurt me, they broke up, they didn't work hard enough, they didn't make it clear, they didn't communicate. We will never heal from a breakup when we consistently place the blame on the other. The point of healing comes when we can acknowledge an aspect of ourselves, and also by identifying this voice in ourselves and allowing it to play itself out through our lives. It keeps us quite aware of the fact that every single other human being on this planet has that same voice. It might express itself in slightly different ways, but has that same voice. And the next time a person pictures up in your world, behaving in a certain way, you can pause and recall what the voice was for you and ask, what could the voice be for this person? And in that way, build a more intimate, a more profound, a deeper and more solid relationship. Breakups, not easy to deal with. But many of us are living proof that they're worth it anyway. Fiona D'Souza, Shekinah Wellness Center.